And I'll pause that. And we're good.
Yep, all right.
Cool. All
I'm
right.
recording.
Awesome. All right. I'll start it up.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here for Poker Savvy Plus, bringing you part 2 with AMA. You guys know him as Andrew. You want to say what's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And yes, this is part 2 of the full dollar, our in-depth look at 100 no limit. If you haven't seen part 1, highly recommend you watch it. This is going to be the second half of a session review of a session I played at 100 no limit. So any prior action, reads that we developed, or excellent commentary that occurred in part 1, if you haven't seen it, you will be not in the know. So we recommend you check that out. What we're going to do for this video is we're going to finish out this the session review, and then we may have some time at the end to just kind of bounce some ideas about 100 no limit off of us. And then at the end of the video, for those of you that stick through it, we would like to hear your suggestions for where you'd like this series to go. We've got a few ideas in terms of whether we want to do live play, hand history review, lecture style, PowerPoints, etc., but we want to hear what you, the viewers, would like to see the most, and we will structure our series accordingly. So that's about it for right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the action, and we will get started. So this is right about where we left off. On table 3, I flop a flush draw and go ahead and make a continuation bet against a tighter player, and I'm going to start the video right now. So I bet the flop, and he calls, and I decide to fire a second barrel on the 5 of hearts. Let me stop right here, Andrew, and kind of get your opinion. Well, I'll let it run until I actually fire the second barrel. Andrew, give me your thoughts on firing a second barrel on a card that, in theory, isn't a great card to barrel because it's going to approve a lot of his flop call range. Give me your kind of thoughts here.
I just want to check. Pre-flop, it was basically like folded to you, you raise, then he flats.
Correct.
In the blind, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, in terms of like, I would expect like a player like him to be re-raising a lot of big hands. So I'm not really too worried about him having like a giant hand on this flop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the hands that you'd kind of be worried about are combinatorically unlikely, like 6s, 4s. Wouldn't expect him to have ace king. So that kind of leaves hands like either flush draws, maybe potentially king X. I wouldn't expect him to fold king X, but his range is definitely wider than that. I think that the part of his range that you're targeting is basically some kind of maybe an inferior flush draw, maybe a better flush draw that won't have the odds to call twice, or potentially a hand like you know, 10s or 9s. And there's also just a bunch of hands that maybe he's going to float one time and see if you check the turn. The thing about that turn card is that it doesn't really improve your hand. Well, I mean, obviously it doesn't improve your hand at all, but it does. It's kind of a, it does sort of hit a decent amount of your range. You know, if you're kind of going to barrel it again, you can have picked up a straight draw with decent equity. You can have a hand like 6-5. You can obviously have turned a straight. So I think it's a reasonable barrel, and given that you do have you know, the backup equity, I think it's perfectly fine.